What's going on, guys? Familiar site for some people. In this video, it's going to be all about setting up your site services to run your job sites. Okay, porta potties, dirt boxes, temp power, all that stuff. We're going to talk about that here. What you have to have, laying out, prepping before you guys even start this project. Talking about water erosion control, all that stuff will be in this video. So come with me and check it out. What's going on, guys? This is Wyatt, and we're going to talk about site service preparation. This is something pretty simple, but this is something you should know before you start your first big project as a general contractor. And make sure you have all your stuff in a line before this job actually gets underway. Make sure you're compliant and all of that stuff, okay? It's a few simple steps. Like I said, it's nothing crazy. It might seem stupid, but a lot of people forget this stuff. So pretty much you got to be on your site preparation, because if you don't have porta potties there, you don't have water there, you don't have temp power there, you don't have all that stuff, guys can't work, okay? It makes things a lot harder, slows things down, 100% just a problem, all right? So starting off the ground running correctly is the way to go, and that starts with your site prep. One is have your permits your permits in hand and posted on the job site. That should be the first thing that happens. Now, again, you can get away with some stuff and everything if you're there a day or two, but you don't want to. Just be compliant right from the get-go. And most of this has to do with neighbors. Neighbors will be a total pain in the ass and slow your project down. They'll call you into the city, all that stuff. And that's the other thing. Make sure this site work looks clean, okay? Don't have trash everywhere and stuff. If you can, put porta potty covers, all that stuff, because you're just trying to keep neighbors out of your hair. You want to impress them. You want to attract more clients. So, like I said, here's the permit stuff. Confirm that the permit package is all good. I've had a problem where I did a project in San Jose. We were working with another general contractor on a full backyard remodel, new pool, new prefab studio shed going up, all that stuff. He pulled the permit. And on there, the shed was pictured in the site plans and all that stuff. But he did not tell the city that it was being electrified. I actually had to tear the drywall out of that project so that they could inspect the electrical. I had to deal with code enforcement. I had to pull permits. It was a pain in the ass, and it's because I didn't confirm that the permit package that we were approved for was fully correct. If I had caught it in the beginning and done something about it, it wouldn't have pretty much lost me a bunch of money and time, and it wouldn't have lost my clients money and time also. I mean, it almost got to the point of a possible lawsuit, so it was really bad. So make sure all your permit package is completely correct, and everything that you need permits for in your project is in that permit. So post permits correctly. Like I said, first thing you should be doing is posting the permit at the site. They will tell you how you need to have it. Like the city of Napa, they don't care that it's posted. They just want it on the job site. In Marin County, I have to have the permit posted in a visible area to neighbors, to city inspectors, all of that stuff. It has to be visible from the street. So they have specific guidelines, and a lot of areas around us are like that. So make sure that you're following those guidelines, because if you're not, they can ding you with a fine. Neighbors can call you. It could just cause a big problem. So next is porta potty, okay? Make sure that everything's ready to go. You're posting your permit stuff. Have the porta potty delivered right as the permit is posted, if you can, that same day. Pretty much schedule it for that morning of. When you call them, they're pretty good on it. They'll get to you within 24 hours. Make sure you have a location that the truck can get to, okay? If you have steep driveways, stuff like that, when the guy comes to drop it off, ask him, hey, where would be the easiest for the pump truck and all of that stuff. Like in Kentfield, we have this massive driveway. We have the porta potty about halfway up the driveway, because that's what's like pretty safe for the pump truck to back up to and everything like that, and it makes it pretty easy. But if it's all the way at the top of the hill, I'd be a little bit worried, because I won't even bring dump trucks up there and stuff. It's a really steep hill. And so if this pumper is like, full of waste and he has a lot of weight and he's at the top of this hill, it could be a problem. So placement is very key. Make sure everybody has access. Because when it's backed in somewhere, like when we did San Francisco and we'd have to throw it in the garages so the homeless people wouldn't get in and stuff, every time that guy comes to pump it, you got to drag that thing out of there. It's stinky, it's heavy, it sucks. I would also do a porta potty cover. I have one on my Kentfield project, and I don't have one in my Lucas Valley project right now, but I need to honestly get on that, especially because that project is getting delayed up the ass. And so I need to get a porta potty cover over there just to make it look a little bit nicer, a little bit more presentable, because we are going to be there a little bit longer. Hand wash, sometimes you're required once you hit a certain number of people on the job site or certain things that you're working on, you are required to have a hand wash station, not just a porta potty. So make sure that you're not required to also have a hand wash station. And then, set service expectations. Just make sure they're pumping, make sure they're delivered on time. They're going to bill you on time, that's for sure. Pretty much you're going to pay a one-time fee for the first month plus a delivery fee. So that's like usually around $300 or something like that. And then after that, you're going to get charged monthly, and it usually runs about $200 to $250 a month to have the porta potty. Next is temporary power. Power is like the most important utility there. So confirm the power that you need. Temp power is going to be the hardest to coordinate with, okay? So like when you're in permitting and planning, you need to be talking with all parties involved in getting that temp power. If you need a new drop down from PG&E or your utility thing, that's the first call you need to be making, because those guys are the ones who are booked out the longest. So your electrician and your temp power guy or your site service guy can mount the pole and mount the temp panel and all that stuff. But if you don't have the utility company scheduled in to attach the drop down to that, you're stuck in the water. So most of the time what happens is in planning, in permitting, you're talking to the utility, you're talking to the electrical contractor, you get approved, you get that electrical contractor or site service contractor out there immediately, put your temp power pole so that PG&E or whatever utility is scheduled immediately within a week or two to come and hook you up. Because a lot of people, you cannot get started until you get that temp power going. If not, you're going to have generators. People are going to have to import power, and it gets really noisy really fast. So you want to try to have temp power as soon as possible. And plus, temp power is just more safe, all that stuff. Do all your safety precautions. Make sure everything's grounded. Make sure everybody knows that to work around it safe, and just, keep everybody alive. Next is water. Usually there's a water connection, okay? Most lots already have a water connection. Certain job sites, like rural job sites and stuff like that, you may need to import water, okay? So there are companies who will drop a water trailer for you. You can do that, or you can get tanks and then import it on a water truck. Sometimes you can fill up from a hydrant, like a pool or something, but you got to make sure all your water needs are taken care of. Water needs for the concrete. I mean, everybody's using water at the job site. And on top of non-potable water, you need to have potable water. So you want to make sure that everybody's got water there to drink, keeping everybody hydrated, stuff like that, just the way it is. And then next is your trash and dirt box planning. So your debris boxes, you need to set your debris boxes up. Usually the debris boxes are pretty good unless their delivery drivers are getting overwhelmed or something like that. So usually you can call in and get a box next day, if not same day. But again, I don't know your area. I don't know what it's like. So get on that. There's 10-yard dirt boxes, and then there's like 10, 20, and I think even a 30 or 40-yard debris box. So depending on what you need, if you're doing a lot of excavating, obviously you're going to need dirt boxes. If you're doing a lot of demolition and all that stuff, you're going to need your debris boxes. So have all that stuff there before guys even walk on site. and start doing their thing, even before layout, all that stuff. The second thing is this green halo, which is like a trash tracker. Okay, so you have to tell them what facilities you're going to be taking all the trash to, how you're going to dispose of it. All these facilities have certain ratings, and they have to meet a certain rating, and so you have to make this thing called a green halo plan. You send that in, that gets approved. You then send that into the city, and then every time you use a box or you're dumping or whatever, you have to make a receipt of that and a log of that, so that everything can be tracked, which makes it a huge pain in the ass. But that's what happens when everybody dumps on the side of the road, doesn't dispose of waste properly. They start cracking down on us. So have all your boxes, and then have trash cans, okay? Trash cans, as many as you can everywhere, all around your job site. People throw all their food in there, all their little stuff in there. It just keeps everything very, very clean. That's your entire point of all this stuff, is keeping everything clean and keeping debris in boxes off the job site, essentially. This is erosion control. So this all needs to be kind of set up before you guys come on, right? If you start working and you don't have this erosion control stuff done, you don't have your tree rings done, you don't have your orange construction fencing around your area of disturbance, that is stuff people can call you out on. The neighbors can call the city or the inspectors can fine you, stuff like that, okay? So I'm going to have this like BMP plan. It's very generic, but they got to put it in there to get these plans passed, and you have to kind of understand it, right? So like we have 2 projects next to creeks. They have big BMP plans. They don't want any washout or anything getting into the creeks, even though all this stuff is happening in the middle of summer. We have really no rain runoff or anything like that, but we got to put the construction fencing. We got to put the straw wattles. We got to do the tree rings, all that stuff. And that just kind of keeps everything contained within the site, essentially what they're trying to do. But get on your erosion control stuff, get on your BMP plans, understand what that is, and act accordingly. Okay, that's a big thing. It's a lot of things. A lot of times people forget this stuff. Next is your concrete washout. We've been getting asked more and more to label these washouts on our site plans and stuff like that, so they're really tracking down on concrete washout. They don't want it going into the gutters, anything like that. So make sure you have your concrete washout all ready and stuff, and keep everybody happy and compliant. So these are pretty much just the takeaways. Prevent delays with compliance. It sucks, but just do it. Details build trust and credibility. So your porta potty covers, keeping the site tidy, all that stuff that looks really good. And then stay proactive on utilities. That's going to be your biggest thing, man. Keep it on those utility companies, keep it on those water companies, on those subcontractors and stuff, to get out there and get all that stuff placed so that you can start working. So anyways, that's the end of the presentation. If you guys want more detailed insight videos, so on there, what I'm going to do is this one, I'm going to, on my Patreon, Backyard Builder Systems, I will talk about the numbers of this. So what I charge for these site services, how much we're making off these site services, right? So when we build a porta potty cover, we're not just building a porta potty cover out of the greatness of our heart. We're charging for that, right? So that's something we're making money off of. So all this stuff, it sucks to be compliant about. It really is kind of a pain in the ass. But if you use it correctly, you can make big money off of staying compliant, staying a little bit more higher end, taking more pride in your work. All that stuff makes you money. So if you want more videos like that, head over to my Patreon. There'll be a link in the description, and I'll talk to you guys later.